We're good, and...
Well, hello. Welcome back. Hello. Welcome back to Royalty, to our final episode for the Traitors USA Season 2. We're your hosts. I'm Tiffany.
And I am Derek F., a.k.a. Big D. And Tiffany, you just said our final episode of Traitors. But before we start, I just want you guys to know you can listen to this episode on Spotify or Apple. Okay, we are streaming audio. And then also please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. We do read the comments. We do hear your guys' feedback. So, welcome to Royalty, as Tiffany said, in our last episode of Traitors. I don't know what I'm going to do, Tiffany, but before we get into everything, How are you doing? How are you feeling? How's everything? You know, I got to check in with you because if not, I know how you are.
I'm doing good.
You're glowing.
Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot lately.
Yeah, you're glowing. You're looking good. I mean, girl, give us that crack. Whatever crack you're using to look like. You just look... I can't get over it. Your skin, the way you look is just... It's amazing. It's like unfair.
It's like looking in the mirror because your skin and the way you look, we are both serving.
Thank you. Serving to the gods. But, yeah, Tiff, you look great. Did you do anything fun this weekend or what's going on?
I did. You know, I wish that I could share more of my personal life with people, you know, with people who like probably want to know stuff, but
of course
it's not been, you just can't, like,
no,
you don't
we
live
can't.
In a society where you can share even your happiness. People like when you're down so that they can help lift you up. So just imagine I'm down and y'all send me the positive energy.
Hold up, say that again, because that is something I think people need to really look around their surrounding. Say that again.
People appreciate and connect with people who are struggling or trying to get somewhere. You know, they connect with that. They send you support. They encourage you. They boost you. They back you when you're down. But when you are happy or you're up or you're doing well, it's like they don't want to see that. So it's kind of hard to share your happiness.
Mm-hmm.
But when you meet people who are also in the same space and they are happy, it becomes a celebration. It becomes a party.
Yes.
Like, you know, it's interesting now that I am happily evolving. I am connecting with people who are also happily evolving. And it feels good.
I think that's what me and you have recently been feeding off each other's vibes and energy and stuff like that. And I'm also so sorry, audience, I might sound a little stuffy. I don't know what it is, allergies, whatever. I'm over it. Like, this has to be the last time. I don't get it. But I think that me and you
have sinus issues, and I keep saying that, but you know, I'm only in healthcare.
I do agree with that. I definitely can see that and agree with that. I just want to, at least want to say this. The most important thing is like feeding off, surrounding yourself with people that also vibe and also want to see you win, but also can relate to things that you're going on. And I think that's why me and you feed off each other's energy and we push each other. Even though we're not in the same city, we push each other. So you don't always have to have someone that has to be next to you or in the same city. The person could be across the United States or the world. Yeah. The most important thing is the vibe. But
the energy, Tiffany, the energy has to align.
Yes, the energy does have to align. So with this going on in Traitors, Tiff, this was our final episode. Okay. Let's get into it, Tiff. All right. What was tonight's episode? Where are we at? What's going on?
Big D, tell me the name of tonight's episode.
Absolutely. So tonight's episode was called One Final Hurdle.
All right. tonight's episode is called One Final Hurdle. And we start off in the turret. Kate admits that it's hard for her to be a traitor. She's the last one now. She wants to get this scent of being a traitor off of her because she knows that there's not a lot of people left in the game. Everybody's looking at everybody, but she can feel that they're looking at her. She's considering keeping Sandra, as you said last episode, because people already think that she's a traitor. So now her choices, who she is looking at the most, is between Trishelle and Sheree. And being a housewife, she is considering that murdering off Sheree would possibly keep the scent off of Kate.
I don't know how I feel about. I'm not gonna lie. This picking these two, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess we're down to whatever. I think Kate also is just like, whatever. Let me just do what I need to do and get to breakfast and try to make it through. MJ walks in. Then after MJ, because we cut the breakfast, okay, so we got to figure out who has got murdered. CT walks in. He, talks to MJ. He thinks that Kate is a traitor. He then comes in Kate, which he knew it was going to happen. MJ.
No one's surprised when Kate walks in. Kate walks in and they're like, hey, good morning.
Good morning.
We knew of all people coming through the door, it was going to be you.
Of course. And MJ also was like, I know it's Sandra. Like, she's like, I'm not voting for, like, she's like, it can't be Kate. It's definitely Sandra. Okay. Sandra walks in. Sandra also cuts to a green screen. She thinks Kate is a traitor. So Sheree is murdered, okay, which was really hard to see because I think that Sheree deserved to be in this final. Like, she really reminded me of someone that needed to be in the final. Sheree gets her letter, and she says she knew it was Kate. She knew it was Kate. She was on to Kate, and she knows why Kate caught her because it was like she was going to figure it out.
Yeah.
It was sucked to see Sheree go. It kind of felt like because Phaedra was gone, now we can get rid of Sheree.
Yeah, because you were never going to get rid of Sheree with Phaedra there because Phaedra was protecting her. So, yeah, it makes sense. Like, they don't feel like they don't have to feel guilty about cutting Sheree because they don't have to look in the face of any of her allies.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Then we cut to, and please interrupt me at any time, Tim, please. Sandra and CT have a conversation in one of the rooms. First of all, let me backtrack. Alan comes in, looks amazing, I love watching him throw these pictures, just like.
Oh my gosh. I felt it was so disrespectful to throw Sheree's picture. I don't know.
I thought it was too.
I was like, don't.
Yeah. Then we cut to Sandra and CT having a conversation about Kate being a traitor. They're kind of like, we know Kate's a traitor. Like, we know it, okay? Trishelle talks to Kate and MJ about Sandra being a traitor, okay? And Kate is like, oh, Absolutely. This is great. Absolutely. This is great. This works out.
I do think this is gaming on Trishelle's part. I don't think she means any of this. She's just trying to throw the scent off that she's thinking anything differently than what she's hoping that Kate believes that she thinks.
Yeah, of course. I mean, because at this point, it's like, what else can you do? There's really nothing else you can do, okay? And I will say this. Going into this episode, Tiff, it felt like because Phaedra left and because how, I guess, Kate is, I was kind of like, when I was watching this episode. Like, I wasn't really excited of how I've been the whole entire season. And I think that's because maybe next season we can kind of change some rules. And to be honest, maybe we need I watched Australia, maybe we need about 4 traitors at this point. Like, maybe 3 is not enough. Like, maybe we need about 4 because of this type of, like, what happens towards the end.
Okay.
Then Kate has a conversation with CT. And then, not Kate. Trishelle has a conversation with CT. And Trishelle tells CT, I know it's Kate, which gives me kudos, because Trishelle just went in the other room saying, oh, I think it's Sandra. Yeah. Which is really showing up. You know what? I want to give Trishelle, once again, her flowers. Mm-hmm. She really is using her things she's learned, strategy. Mm-hmm. She's been in the game for a very long time. It's showing through. Yeah. Okay? Tiff, we did cut to the helicopter shows up.
Okay. Well, let's accentuate the fact that before the mission, CT and Trishelle have an agreement. They make an agreement with each other that they have been saying to each other from the beginning or from the middle, like, we're taking each other to the end. It seems like they are holding true to the final agreement that they made. It's you and I to the end. And so I think that's important because we've seen them not work together on previous shows. And then we saw them come in and struggle a little bit in the beginning about, I trust you, but I'm also doing my own thing a little bit. And like here, they're like, hey, I'm very confident you're not a traitor. I'm very confident you're not a traitor. We're taking each other to the end. So anyway.
No, and that, that is, I definitely understand that, because when you know somebody for so long, or someone that you played a show with, it's like
it's the familiarity.
It's the familiar, like you said, Tiff. You said this. I think maybe 2 episodes ago. It's all about because when we had our debate about why they vote this way and why they did that, you brought that point up. So yeah, I do agree with you on that. It does. Alan lets them know that the final challenges arrive. A helicopter shows up and takes them to their final challenge. Okay. Mm-hmm. It was so funny because I love production. And I love how they were all in these outfits, and then magically when they got on the helicopter, they were in half of these outfits, half of the swim gear. And I was like, what? How did they do that? We never saw them change. It was like crazy. But not that way. It was just it was just funny how they went in this helicopter in these fancy outfits and then got off the helicopter and they were like wetsuits and then half fancy outfit on. It was interesting. So we get to the final challenge. Before we get to this challenge, okay, I'm gonna say this now. This was not a group challenge, okay? Mm-hmm. This was a CT. Let me tell you. First,
before Big D jumps into what the mission, let me tell you what the mission is. The mission requires each of them to collect bags of money on their way to the ship, where they have to raise the main sail to earn up to $30,000. And there are detours along the way to getting to this ship. And on those detours, they have the opportunity to bank more money. And it's CT and a group of women. And it is pretty much the CT show. Go ahead, Big D.
Oh, Tiff, as you said, this was a CT final, okay? Yeah. There was nobody else there. This was a CT final.
Kate kept him. This is why he wasn't an option in the turret. Yeah. We've got another mission, and we need CT to do it. Whatever it is, he's going to have to do it, and then we'll just get to the end and get our money.
Yeah. Tiff, you just made a good point. That's probably why CT throughout the whole entire game also was never killed, because it was like, we need him to do these challenges. Probably, yeah.
I felt the same way. I was like, they really carry their missions on the back of CT. And I was like, well, Johnny could have also been their hero, but I agree that CT is probably a little more digestible. Yeah. I'm sorry. Was that funny? I'm just saying. For them. Because
I'm dead.
Bananas is an acquired taste. Everybody doesn't like
Everyone
bananas.
Doesn't like bananas.
No. And sometimes he's a frozen banana, a rotten banana, a fresh banana, a green banana that's not ready to be eaten yet. So, in this
or
case,
a hot banana, a hot fudge banana, or
nobody
smoothie bananas.
Likes a hot banana. Okay, but anyway, so I understand, when it came down to them being like, yeah, and it wasn't even their choice, it was Dan's choice about who, when Bananas got murdered, but they definitely were like, Yep. CT's staying because CT can finish these. He can accomplish the goals in these missions.
I agree with that. I mean, yeah, it was a smart play. Absolutely. As they're doing this challenge, as you were saying, Tiff, as they were doing this mission, as you were saying, they're all going hiking through these mountains. There's different type of tasks that you can get money as you go. The first checkpoint they get to, which was for 5K, they had to find the flag in these crab bins. And I love Sandra and CT like doing these challenges together because they're trying to figure it out. But
I was watching them work together and their skill set, and I was like, they're equally both good at putting fear to the side and going for it. Like Sandra for the challenge. Period. Go ahead.
I agree. Absolutely, I agree. At this point, yes, absolutely.
She was keeping up with CT.
She was keeping up with CT, letting him know what she needed to do. And I love that, of course, which was smart. She's like, girl, CT, get that crab basket that's in the ocean. The furthest
get the last one. I love Sandra. Sandra is a delegator she's like, get the last one. Pull that one in, CT. She's not afraid to tell you what to do. CT, go down there and get that one. You see that one over there? Pull that one in. Get that one. Bring that one back. And CT's like, and he's so cooperative. He's like, okay, I got it. I love the dynamic between the two of them.
But you know what? I think that's also because they treated CT with respect. Mm-hmm. And they treated him like, when you treat somebody well, they will do things for you. Mm-hmm. So just like when you sit there and, you treat Christian well, he's your son. Mm-hmm. Christian, go get that Ethernet cord. Go get this. Go do that. And he gets up and does it with no problem.
I treat you well. I'd be like, Big D.
Yes.
Perch up there, all thick, and you do it.
Yes. So I think that played as a dynamic. Mm-hmm. Then Trishelle and Sandra, because I love Sandra. After she tells CT what to do, she go, all right, I'm going to head back because it's going to take me a minute to get there.
I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses.
You guys figure this out. And then what happens after that, Tim?
Well, this mission essentially for me was not very eventful. It's just a lot of, they do find the money. They, some go ahead, some go together. CT's got to run back to the beginning to find, Kate finds this lock and he needs the combination. They're just going to randomly try. Kate kills me. Try 2023.
She said it has to be the year that we're filming right now.
Girl, it's not at all.
Production made it that easy. They said, make the code 2023. They won't figure that out. That's easy. Or make it 1, 2, 3, 4 at this point.
0, 0, 0, 0. CT runs all the way back to the beginning. The girls head out so that they can get, to the next, as close as they can to getting to the ship. CT runs back, gets the combination, unlocks the lock, meets the girls, and then they have to ascend down this drop where it's almost like I forget what the correct term was. That
I forgot what it was called too.
Yeah, it's
rappelling.
It's almost like rappelling, but it's different than rappelling because they're not on a building. But essentially, it is rappelling. But yeah, it's a proper term, but I can't think of it right now. Big D can't think of it, so whatever.
The chat figure it out. Mm-hmm. Oh my God! Shout out to the chat. Oh my God!
Shout out to the Royal Court. Hi,
hello, Royal Court. Happy Sunday. Thank you for being here. Shout out to you guys. Hope you're having a beautiful day. The weather is breaking over here on, I guess, me and Tiffany's side. So hope you guys are having a good day. But continue, Tiff.
Wait, I do have to say, when we joined the live chats and we watched the episode back, you and I have done the episode. We don't really have to watch the episode back. I show up to watch the episode back because I love the Royal Court. You guys make watching the episode live with you all so fun. Y'all chat, y'all
so much
talk
fun.
Crap with us. Like, I love it. So shout out to the Royal Court for holding down the fort for this entire season of Traitors. Y'all have brought all the boys to the yard, because we started off with like 20, 30 people in the chat. We done got up to 180 people in the chat. We done been kicking it in the chat. So shout out to the Royal Court. Okay.
Yes, anyway. Yes. But continue, Tiff.
They, everybody's scared to rappel down this. Long story short, because we don't need to spend a lot of time on this mission, they make it to the ship. They raise the sail. They get their 30K. It's time to get down to who we're going to banish tonight. So we get back to the castle and we start socializing. And then, Big D, I'm just going to let you know, we start off with MJ and Kate, and they're thinking Sandra. And Trishelle, CT, and Sandra get together. And this is when it turns into a battle of the game. It's like, so Trishelle leaves this conversation, and CT and Sandra, CT tells Sandra that MJ and Kate are going for her. Because didn't we have a car ride? Did I miss my car ride?
No, they did have a car ride. They were having a conversation. So everything you're saying is correct. Yeah, in the car Kate kind of spins it so that CT thinks that Sandra is coming after.
Well, let's talk about what he spun. And I do apologize because in my notes, I do have it I have it here on the car. So on the car ride home, before we even get to the castle, Kate is trying to convince CT that she's not a traitor, because he pretty much is like, I think you a traitor. And, so this conversation opens up to where Kate is like, yeah, Sandra brought up you. And then it's very easy to shift your perspective and become suspicious of someone, because you are never 100% sure, because how do you know? You're just going off your gut, your instincts, the suspicion created around them, maybe a little bit of factual information if you have it. But at this point, nobody knows. So CT is weighing whether he believes Trishelle or Kate. And when CT tells Sandra that MJ and Kate are going for her, Trishelle reiterates that they need to get Kate out. Kate and Sandra chat. Sandra tells Kate that CT said, you brought my name up. And when Sandra tells Kate, because CT tells Sandra, like, yeah, Kate's coming for you. Kate's like, well, she said we were coming for you. So it's
yes, and this is where this is like you said, all these things are going to start playing into play, like your intuition, your gut. You don't know, you really can't trust nobody. Like this is where it can get messy. And I can see that.
So there's a lot of going back and forth. Sandra says to Kate that CT said you brought my name up. Kate tells Sandra that CT brought her name up. Sandra reminds Kate that if CT, Trishelle, and Kate they can vote out CT. And Kate seems to think that she's convinced Sandra to vote out CT. Then Kate goes to CT and tells him that Sandra wants to vote him out. So there's a lot of bones being picked up and dropped off and picked up and dropped off. Now there's suspicion around everyone, where it seems like earlier in the day, there was a concrete plan to vote out Kate. Kate has picked up on all of this suspicion, and she's shooting her bullets like, well, they said it's you, they think it's you, and she's turning them against each other.
Look, I got to give it to her. This is where I was like, go off, Kate. Like, this is what I wasn't expecting, because in this episode, I'm like, man, Kate's going, this is it, you know. But then once I hit that, that pause button and saw how much time was left, I was like, oh, maybe there's something's going to happen. And look, this is what happened. So, Tiff, I also just want to point out one funny part. Alan. I love Alan. And you know why I love Alan? He killed me when he was yelling at them on the walkie-talkie. He was knocking me out. Get here now. Hurry up now. You got about 10 minutes. Hurry up. But then when they get on the boat, he's still yelling in the walkie-talkie. I don't know why I'm yelling in the walkie-talkie. Like, I love how raw and how, like, unhinged he is. But please continue, Tim. I'm so sorry.
Butts, losers.
Losers. Hurry up. You think it's going to do it on yourself?
This is your last mission. You've had practice in these missions. Hurry up.
Hurry up.
The sail.
Yes, and now raise the flag, because you didn't raise the flag. You got to raise the sail. Let me tell you something. Baby, I just listen.
He's working hard. He's like, I'm the only one that can do anything wrong. Can you imagine them not having CT? And, like, can you imagine this group forming an all-girls alliance to get to the end? And then they do get all the girls to the end with no guy. Like, that's why those all-girl alliances, you know.
Depends on the show. I will say this, but yeah.
No, I'm just talking crap. They're like,
no, I'm talking crap. No. You know my ass. Listen. We gonna keep these guys.
Listen. All right,
we need them. Table. But let's get to the round table. Let me shout out to MJ Coat. MJ Coat was everything. MJ's cheetah like coat was, that trench coat, I need it. Like, I gotta have it. But let's get to the round table, Tiff. Go ahead.
That is just a true testament of me. Y'all gonna judge me today. I'm about to lose some supporters today. I don't really care about fashion. I am a comfort person. I didn't even pay attention to it. And that's a shame. I don't even know.
That's a lie. You do care about fashion because you always talked about Phaedra's looks this whole entire season.
You know what gets me? Like capes, nudes, browns, tans, whites, like those grab my attention. Anyway, let's keep going. So the round table. So CT starts with the fact that he's been trying to play this game open and honest. And I just want to correct him on that because you may play a game honest, but nobody's playing a game open. Open means you are volunteering information. You are sharing information. You are not, nobody's pulling teeth. And honest means if something is brought to you when you need to, you will tell the truth about what your thought. You will share your thoughts. But I get him, though. I get what he's saying. Because in a game, you can be honest, but you ain't got to be open. Anyway.
And that's true. And you'll say whatever you need to say to get through the game.
So he brings up this Kate's suspicion that, you know, and Kate her defense is that they were keeping the Bravo girls together. And she thought Phaedra was a traitor. She enjoys the round tables, and she knew Dan was a traitor because he was acting like one. So they're going to go around this round table why they think Kate may possibly be a traitor. MJ says to Sandra, "My gut tells me that you're a traitor and maybe you were recruited." And when sweet baby MJ's instincts and her gut just are always wrong.
I love it. It makes even though MJ get on my nerves, but I've now found a love for MJ, and of course I'll talk about that later. But yeah, she's always wrong.
Well, and she brings up that she's suspicious about the time that Sandra was with Phaedra. And Sandra had an amazing defense. She's saying, I felt protected by Phaedra and Sheree because she thought they were both traitors. So I'm going to connect with the people who I feel like can keep me safe. Then CT tells Sandra he thinks she's a traitor because Kate told him about the car ride. And then Trishelle is like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Trishelle was like, what is going on? This is not a part of the play. Trishelle looked like, what is going on?
Well, one of the things I do respect about Sandra is she becomes very transparent in this moment. And she's like, yeah, I admit that when Kate shared that information with me, that you were thinking about voting me, it scared me. And it made me think that I might need to change the direction that I'm looking in. And so, you know, even though you're being honest, you're being truthful in this moment, there's such a short time to process this truth. But she did. She was on to Kate until Kate planted suspicion about CT. And then she was wondering if she was getting played. And so in a game, you almost have to be, you do one, have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to pivot, and you can't be so blind. And so if you are targeting me, I really legitimately don't have a choice but to target you, unless we're at a point in the game where your threat level isn't damaging to me. Well, right now we're at the end of the game. So your threat to me in targeting me is it's a viable threat.
No, agree.
So
agree with that.
So she has to pivot and go, do I trust what CT is telling me?
Yep.
Do I trust what Kate is telling me? I don't want to be naive to either. I'm going to consider this.
Mm-hmm. And we're coming down to the wire. And then, if I'm correct, Tiff, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Sandra says Kate threw her underneath the bus and even says that Kate looks like a traitor tonight.
Look at how you're dressed. She's dressed like
just
a traitor.
Like a traitor.
Well,
Kate said, thank you.
I'll be damned. How does a traitor dress? Like
how does you listen? Just know you wear all white, you're a traitor. Do not wear all white if you're going on season 3 of Traitors. Never wear all white because that is considered you're a traitor.
I think it was more than the all white. I think it was just like the style and make of the shirt. Now that I did pay attention to, the style and make of the shirt, the tie. There's some things that do catch my attention in fashion. And there's some things I'm just like, I don't know. But anyway, we get down to the vote. Kate, obviously, she's voting Sandra. MJ, Sandra, I'm voting you, and I hope that you are a traitor. I'm not. Kate, Sandra's like, I'm not. She votes Kate. She says, I think you came in as a faithful and were recruited and infiltrated the group that I was with. Sandra's intuition is always on point. Like, Trishelle, CT votes Sandra. Trishelle has to vote Sandra because she doesn't want to paint any suspicion on her. She's going to vote with the group. And as a game move, it made total sense. It made sense. She was mad to do it. She's very confused about CT's decision. They had already made an agreement that they were going to the end together. So they should be aligned. They should be on the same page. I don't know how we're going to get anywhere together if we're not doing things together. And so she's got to follow this. She's got to follow the majority. Then, of course, what happens, Big D?
Of course, Sandra gets banished. She goes up there. And let me tell you something. It was so hard to see Sandra go up there because she definitely didn't deserve to go home. Like, the people that are going home, I'm like, damn. But she goes up there and she lets them know she's a faithful. And Trishelle's like, I knew.
Oh, Sandra.
Yes.
She goes, what a colossal mistake. She's so thrown.
That's hard. Yeah.
She is like, I'm through with you guys.
Let me tell you something. And here's the thing. The crazy part is that because these people don't know how Sandra is, if Sandra was a traitor, baby, I think the kills would have been completely different if Sandra was a traitor. But, Sandra goes home. Then we have to cut to, it's now time for the final 4 to go into the final banishment to decide, if we're going to continue or not going to continue. Alan lets them know You know, you throw this pouch if you want it to be green and continue. You throw this pouch if you think there's one more traitor. Mm-hmm. If I'm correct, I think Kate threw a red pouch. Am I right about that?
Kate chose to end the game.
So okay, she did. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, she chose to end the game, but who chose not to end the game?
Well, okay, so Kate chose to end the game, and then Trishelle voted. She threw a red pouch. CT threw a red pouch, and MJ threw a red pouch, meaning they believe that there is still a traitor left. And MJ very logically and very reasonably says, well, Sheree was murdered, so there has to be a traitor among us. And that's just obvious. Like, obviously, if somebody else was murdered, there has to be another traitor, which if Kate voted to end the game, it makes you look suspicious, because how are you not thinking about somebody was murdered, so someone here has to be a murderer? And if I was Kate, I think I would have tried to vote out one more person, because I don't want to split $250,000 with 4 people, even if I know none of y'all are traitors. I'm not ready to end the game. I want to vote. Well,
I agree. That's nothing to split with. Okay, it's not.
They vote.
Yep.
Kate says, Trishelle, I just had to vote for someone. Trishelle votes for Kate. TT votes for Kate. MJ in the smallest font.
Do you know her favorite smallest font? You know her favorite?
Font of 5. And most people do font of 10 or 12.
No, she probably does like a 2.5.
Oh, jeez.
It's like back here, too. And this how she be holding it, too.
Mm-hmm. And I have to be right about this. I have to be right this time. Well, you are, MJ. Kate's banished from the game. First, she reveals that she only knows how to play as a faithful. She wanted to share this money with people she thought were her friends. And you are my friends. And I am also a traitor. So.
Yep. And Kate was out. And Kate was content. And she actually said she had fun this time around. And it didn't feel torture with her going through the challenges and stuff like that. And
she made a point. She's like, I would have felt guilty. And I do understand that. Like, it's hard to play these games with a heart. Some people would be like, I ain't feeling guilty about nothing. I showed up here. I came to play. I won. I want to win my money. But some, when you have compassion and empathy and you're like, I came in the middle of the game. I won this money and took this from people who were here from the very beginning, playing their hearts out. I feel bad. Some people will not feel bad at all. But luckily, they had someone like Kate who was like, whatever. Once again, Alan, it's like, all right, you get to vote again to end this game, or you can banish again. It's pouch time. MJ knows that there are no more traitors in this game. And Trishelle and CT, either one, believe that there's another traitor, which I don't think that they really believed that.
I don't believe that.
I think that they just really wanted to take home the biggest chunk of the 250 that they could take.
Yes.
And so it's like, it's you and I.
Yep.
We need this money. Whether MJ's a traitor or not doesn't matter.
Yep.
We don't need to split 250 3 ways.
Correct.
Well, MJ votes green. Trishelle votes red. CT votes red. And they made a deal to take each other to the end, so it makes sense they're going to vote out MJ.
Yeah.
So the vote is revealed, and CT votes out MJ. MJ votes out Trishelle. And Trishelle has written down CT.
Girl, I gagged.
I
gagged. I said,
what?
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
She cutthroat.
Yeah, Trishelle's cutthroat. Like, I would never be able to trust her in the game, ever. She's cutthroat. Writing his name down was insane. But she did have her reasons, which was...
She had valid reasons.
We were supposed to go to plan with Kate. You didn't go with that plan with Kate. It's now making me feel a little suspicious and stuff. And I think... either they cut out a lot of the stuff that maybe CT said, but CT just looked very like... Yeah.
You know, I think that maybe there was a point of him being like, I'm not happy with this situation. What you're saying kind of does make sense. I'm more so disappointed and hurt. And I trust you. I know you have to trust me. I'm upset, but I have to still play the game. I can't show my emotions. He seemed more hurt than anything.
Yeah, he seemed hurt. Yeah. I think like you said.
Yeah.
Yep. So, you know, of course there's a, you know, we got to redo it again. So Alan's like, all right, let's do it again. We start off with CT, and I thought at this time, like, maybe CT was going to write Trichelle's name, but he didn't. He wrote MJ's name, making it clear that, hey, I am a faithful. Writes MJ. MJ is like, I'm going to stick with what I know, Trishelle. You know, I am a faithful. You know, like, I don't know why we're even doing this, because we know all of us are faithful. And it comes down to Trishelle. And she's just like, I'm so sorry. And she wrote out MJ.
Yeah, she said it was very hard to write his name down the first time. She couldn't do it a second time. And that makes sense. I can understand that. And then just because they have a relationship, she knows him, his plea was probably more genuine. And she felt like, okay, maybe he's not a traitor. He just made some very bad moves that caused some distrust between us two. I'm going to take a shot on it. MJ reveals that she's a faithful. We could have had all three been celebrating, and they're like, yeah, no, babe, we couldn't have. We weren't.
I was pissed. I'm not going to lie. I was pissed because I felt for MJ, and I don't know. It's hard. And we'll get into that more when we talk about the reunion portion real quick, but it just felt very like, I don't know. They got to change some rules for that towards the end. Like, I don't know.
What are you thinking?
I don't know. I think maybe if you get rid of a faithful, you lose about like $5,000 at the end. Like, I just feel like there should be like a little bit of like a risk and reward, as I would say, because you have these two friends. Because now when you go into season 3, hopefully players will think, I don't think I want friends at the end. I don't want anybody that has friends at the end, because the friends can band together and get rid of everybody else to just split the money between those two. Like, that was crazy to me. But that's my final thoughts. I will say this. Congratulations, of course, to CT and Trishelle on winning Traitors Season 2. Our first season, we had a Survivor player. The second season, we had a Challenge player. Hopefully, next season, we have a Big Brother player. If not, I'm cool with someone from Bravo winning.
I mean, because when Alan reveals the prize, they won $104,050, and I'm not saying that's nothing. And I'm not.
How much they won? I'm sorry, Tiff. You said
$104,000.50.
Yeah,
104,000. I mean, that's a lot to go through. I'm not ungrateful at all. I'm saying it's not a lot to split amongst 4 people, 3 people. That was what they both won. I guess it was like 210 or 211, something, I don't know. But
if I'm correct, you said it was 250?
Well, I thought I thought they were playing for 250, but maybe they didn't bank all of the 250. Well, Alan said, he said CT and Trishelle win Traitors as faithfuls, both taking home 104.
Got it. So let's see.
1,050. That's what he said. Times 2. We know what that is. That's 211.
You said 104. Look at us doing math over here. I'm doing it on the calculator.
209. Hey, cut that out.
Yeah, I thought, no, it's fine. I love that. I think it was 209. That's what I thought. I was like 280 or 29. But whatever. I get what you're saying. It's still a good amount of money.
They dumb. They don't know it, basically.
Yeah. I mean, of course, taxes. Everyone's thinking about taxes and all that other stuff that's going to come out of it and all that other crazy shit. But I definitely understand. I just think there just needs to be switched. But, Tiff, what's your final thoughts on this episode before we go into the reunion?
I think it was It was definitely more bumps than I thought. It had more depth than I was expecting. I did not know it would be so eventful coming to the end.
Me too.
I was expecting to see Sheree and Sandra at the end. I was at least expecting to see Sandra at the end. I was not expecting Kate to make it to the end. And it makes sense that it makes sense that MJ was banished, because I don't want to split $209 with 3 people.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah. Okay, we cut to the reunion.
Yeah.
Everyone looked fabulous. I'm not going to go through everybody's outfit. Everyone looked nice. You know, so good to see everyone back. I first want to start with the reunion. Kind of starts off a little bit hot. It seems like, Trishelle and CT, they're talking about, how did we start, Tiff? Did we start with, I feel like Trishelle, CT, Kate, and MJ did not come out yet. Yeah. We started with everybody else. Mm-hmm. We go into some questions. The first question that we get into is just about how everybody feels about the game, some funny moments. So then Trishelle, CT, and Kate, MJ come out, okay? MJ automatically, while Trishelle and CT are talking, she goes directly at them. Mm. She could tell she's still upset. She's still, annoyed. And I don't think that people understand, like, when it comes to these reunions, these Bravo women, they know how to do a reunion, okay? Mm-hmm. One of the things, I'm just going to call out things that were interesting to him. Please correct me, interrupt me, whatever. Mm-hmm. Andy wasn't playing. He asked about Larsa and Jordan's relationship, because it has been all over the internet that they're not together or whatever. I think they gave a very safe answer about their relationship. We cut to, the recap of Phaedra, okay? Phaedra, as they're recapping, she thought, which killed me, she thought CT was the repo man, or the person that fixed the tires, and Johnny Bananas is the repo man. So they work for the same company. She didn't know who CT was. She thought it was just one of somebody on the staff that was just there to help with the car. Mm-hmm. Ekisu and Peter are getting to know each other. They look really good together. Mm-hmm. I could definitely see that turning into something. Mm-hmm. I wonder how Peter's doing with Ekisu being on Big Brother UK right now. Mm-hmm. So that's a quick turnaround for her. Mm-hmm. I do want to cut to Johnny Bananas. Mm-hmm. Johnny Banana goes, Johnny Banana kind of go at it, a little bit. But Dan gives a very safe answer, which that's one thing Dan will do. Dan will not engage. Mm. Dan will always give a safe answer. And that's okay. That's his style.
No, what do you mean? Because he asked, so to me, Bananas is like, yeah, I'm used to playing with people who want to play, not people who lack the self-esteem to play. And Dan is like, I know that how you play the game. I'm familiar a little bit with the experience that you have. Like, you were murdered out of respect. I think that Dan does play a more emotionally detached game. And, I think his answers are just a reflection of his real thoughts. Like, I don't know that he's playing it safe. He just doesn't care as much as other people think that he does in the way that he's playing. Just my opinion. I think he has the nature of a true gamer. A lot of the comments I heard from the cast regarding Dan's moves, or anybody else's moves for that matter, people are personally offended or whatever. Like, these are games, and people are going to make moves that don't benefit you. They're going to make moves that benefit them. So taking things personally, it's not really my problem that you don't understand that I'm making a game move for myself.
No, I agree. Listen, I'm always about I am a gamer where I understand cutthroat. I'll cut you. I don't really care. I don't have feelings, but I have emotions. So I like to say I'm in between because I can understand why, like Phaedra basically said, Dan's a piece of shit. You know, like she don't really care, right? I can understand why she feels that way, and you know we'll get into that in a second. But I do agree, it's a game. When you sign up for these shows, you understand that it's a game, and you understand you're going to be eliminated, and you understand there's a chance you might not win.
And you also need to understand that people will use personal things about you because that's all that they have. That's all you're showing up as your person. When people want to go after you, paint suspicion around you, target you, they can only use what they have. So your personal and your character may come into question, or it may be under attack. That is a part of the game. Whether it's nice, whether it's right, whether you like it, whether it's respected, it doesn't matter.
No,
it is viable. It is usable. Viable. It is accessible, and there are no rules. So you don't have to like it. You don't have to respect it, but you need to expect it.
No, you do have to expect it, but you also have to understand that things might come with consequences. You can't sit there and tell people how they're going to feel. Like, people are going to feel some type of way, and all you could do is just either still play emotionless, or you can sit there and be like, hey, it was just a game, but guess what? You made that game move, and if somebody don't like it, they don't like it. It is what it is. You signed up for it. It goes back ends.
I don't think Dan cares whether Phaedra likes him or not.
I mean, he did, because he asked. He said, I'm just worried that Phaedra doesn't like me. And she said, I don't.
Yeah, but she doesn't. And she doesn't understand his game moves. And, you know, she doesn't respect his gameplay. But at the end of the day, I think he doesn't like that she doesn't understand. But I don't think he's at home sulking about it, trying to figure out.
No, I don't think that he's sulking about it. But the one thing that I realized that they did say at the reunion, which I think was important, Dan, when they talked about how Dan could have went after property and could have went after, you know, Phaedra, he should have went after property. He should have never went after Phaedra when that happened. That is the only...
I get that. But that's the opinion of other people watching his gameplay. In his mind, not many people play a game, make a move, and change their trajectory about how they felt it should have been done. People still come to me and say, now, don't you regret not throwing that HOH to Kylan? No, I don't. No. And so when he is like, that was the move that I felt like I needed to make, however it impacted his game, he was still, and he said that, I was still not going to go after Parvati over Phaedra, because Phaedra was playing such a good game. I knew I couldn't win with her there. To me, it makes sense. I completely get what he's saying. His timing was wrong. But if he is playing to win, he does have to get out Phaedra.
I understand that. I do. Tiff, you said the timing was wrong. I agree the timing was wrong. I don't think that was smart to do, because that just came out of thin air. He should have sat there and made Parvati the target. Then he would have stayed. She could have possibly went and then found another plan to get out Phaedra. That's what my suggestion. Okay. Throughout this reunion, I also want to talk about Dante, the boxer. Deontay, excuse me. He talked about his childhood trauma. He said the game helped him with that. Love that he got something out of it. That's beautiful, because, of course, when you go into these games, they really do teach you about deep, dark issues that you probably been hiding underneath, or things that are covered that you never knew about before. Before I get to this person, I want to cut to John. You know, I love John. But John was doing a lot. John thought this was a politician debate. John was countering everybody. Oh my God, he was countering everybody's statement. I thought John was hosting the reunion.
What you rattling over there? What you rattling?
Gummies. But I thought John was over there, like, you know, basically running this reunion. But, you know, I'm going to let him do his thing. Which the cast, they got a lot of respect for him, because I don't know if I would have laid John like that at the reunion. I probably would have been like, John, shut the fuck up. I'm not gonna lie. Peppermint talks about her experience. I think that's really important to listen to what she was saying. Talking about how, she understands it's a game, but, how it was done doesn't really sit right with her.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to hear Peppermint's, take on things more in the future when we have her as a special guest later on this month. But that was very interesting to hear, and I'm glad that she was able to speak up and say that. Was there anything else? I mean, Janelle said that she would have been a better trader than Dan. I thought that was hilarious. I love that she said that. Tip, was there anything else like you kind of pointed out or you think that was really to really take on with the reunion?
Yeah. I think that they don't have to have traitor reunions. They are very underwhelming for me. The first one was okay, and the second one was okay. I was underwhelmed. I was unimpressed. I didn't learn anything that I didn't already know. I probably fare better in a Big Brother reunion, honestly, where I don't know people's thoughts, what's going on, what they were thinking, what really happened behind the game. I learned nothing. It dragged me. I dragged through. I was just like, okay. But that's just my opinion. My brain functions at a high frequency. It takes a lot to hold my attention. It takes a lot to get me, to impress me. So I'm not, my measurement of entertainment on the reunion may not be anyone else's take on it. But I just realized, like, I probably won't watch another Traitors reunion. I don't. For what?
Listen, unless it's going to be a baddies reunion, I don't want to see it. I will say this. Yes, it definitely was like, I feel like they weren't asking hard-hitting questions.
It was the stiffest. It was so silent.
It was so stiff.
You could hear a pin drop. Nobody wants to say. It was just like, it was a fashion show, if nothing else.
Correct, but guess what? They should have filmed it when they got done the season. Not giving them all this time to talk and relate. And like fresh. Because then it's like, MJ just went home. Let's talk about it. And the reunion would have been lit. That's what I'm saying. You can't do it that way.
I know that there's a format you follow, but it was like Andy'd ask a question and then somebody would answer. And there would be more to get from that. Maybe a conversation between a couple of people, but it would be like, okay, so next. And I'm like, it just was very dry for me. It was. I like a conversation.
Me too.
Squeeze the juice out the meat. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, look at the meat. I was like, look at this plate. And I was like, oh, that's a nice plate. Can I taste it? So I just got to smell the food. That's how I felt. I felt like it was a taste test where I didn't taste nothing. I just smelled the food and was like, that was nice.
Correct. Because you know what, Andy? I feel like there was a lot of questions. Why did Andy not ask, Sheree, how did you feel about Phaedra lying to you?
I don't know. They don't got to have no reunion for me. That's how I feel about
I agree. Okay, guys. Well, just to kind of go over everything else that we have left for the show, this is the last episode of Traitors, of course, Tiff. This was so great recapping with you, okay? Guys, if you don't know, we are recapping Survivor. They'll be coming out Thursday afternoons or mornings, whenever. I'm trying my best. We'll have Survivor guests. I have them lined up. If Tiffany could join, Tiffany will be joining, of course. If not, you will see Tiffany again this summer with Hannah. Yes.
I am taking a small little break because I am embarking on some other endeavors. It is not the Challenge 40. I am taking, you guys don't know this, but I have been for the last 6 weeks, maybe 7, taking an acting class. And I am almost finished. I have 2 weeks left. Then I have already signed up for their master's course, and it's an ongoing. And then I also, at a comedy show, am taking improv classes. So I got a lot that I'm trying to accomplish, and I just want to focus on me. And I've got a lot of other obligations and responsibilities, and I don't want to disappoint anybody nor try to carry too many plates in these hands. So just wish me well. And if you don't wish me well, don't wish me anything. Thank you.
Of course, Tiff, I think we all wish you well. I cannot wait. So please, guys, I'll be a lonely soldier holding it down to you for you guys until June.
For you.
Yes, and if Tiffany could hop in at any time, that'll be great. But in the meantime, I will be recapping Survivor for the rest of this season, and then I will be taking a break with everybody else until Big Brother season. So you got me until the end of May, guys. All right. So please, guys, remember to like, subscribe. Tiffany, can I just say thank you for all your time, your commitment. I don't think people know Tiffany holds it down, okay, when it comes to making sure I have everything I need for this show. And I appreciate you putting your money, because that's number one, okay, your time and everything for us to have this successful show. We have hit over 5K, and I appreciate you. I appreciate Hannah. I appreciate everyone that has been doing well, and I cannot wait for us to continue and do more together. So thank you.
Thank you, Big D, for acknowledging that and giving me that credit. I want to thank you for, you are the man behind the camera. You are the editor. You create the clips. You push out the media. You make sure I'm here. You help make this show. I could not do. It wouldn't be this show without you, not just because you show up, but you show up off camera, you show up behind the scene. And I couldn't do it by myself. It would not get done. I show up because I love the royal court, and Big D also holds me very accountable for being here. Sometimes, y'all don't know, I am like, I don't like to disappoint, and Big D is like, get in here, I'll work around it. I do want to thank Hannah for being here when she's here.
Yes.
She's a student, a med student, and I'm allowing whatever time, and not even allowing, I'm just respecting that she has other things to do. There is an unspoken person not here that I am going to say thank you for. We have a silent investor, a silent partner, a silent creator. This man's name will no longer be silenced. It is the one, the only Muhammad Iman. He is very instrumental in Heavy Crown Network.
Yes.
From the very beginning. And he's such a humble person that he does not even say one word about his instrumentation or his implementation about the network. Or I just want to thank him for his being supportive, for allowing us to build with him as well, like joining us in building. So thank you to everyone who makes Heavy Crown Network successful, where royalty has the platform to showcase our opinions and our retakes and our recaps about these shows. Thank you to the Royal Court for showing up. You guys have been consistent. You guys have been supporting us from the beginning. Thank you for pushing out our episodes, for sharing them, for tweeting them, for just popping in the chat and liking and commenting, going along with us. So thank you to all of the supporters. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to the directors who come up with these shows that we even have the opportunity to chat about.
Yes, yes. And I also want to shout out to our Big Brother family. Of course, they are doing casting calls. So, guys, make sure you go check out those casting calls. Shout out to Jesse for putting me and Tiffany and Hannah together, because we would have never knew each other if it wasn't for him and his casting team. So I'm so excited to talk about Big Brother and have all three of us back this summer. But in the meantime, your worst nightmare, you guys will have to deal with Big D until the end of May with Survivor episode recaps every Thursday. So Tiffany, I love you. Have a beautiful day. You guys have a beautiful Sunday. Start your week off right. Remember the goals that you're trying to achieve, and we will see you guys soon.